already shared the journey with us, 17 years though it may be, and for those who are engaging with the Youth Charter for the first time. And a bit like any relationship, it's always one of, I suppose, reputation, perception, reality, but ultimately the experience of the relationship. And as I look around, it's about as good as what I would hope it would be within the past, the present and the future. Where we've come from, I think, is for everyone to appreciate and understand by way of what we believe in our philosophy of culture, still providing a social and cultural spirit that becomes practical and transcends the boundaries geographically, religiously, racially, and I think politically. It has been our mission philosophy the last 17 years, and of late we've been reviewing what we do in the future and what that might look like. However, whatever the future looks like, it's within the present, and we have always, as part of our international program of work, wanted to see what young people are still prepared to do, what they're not prepared to do, but more importantly, contribute to democracy, the debate, the challenge and the opportunity of whatever new political dawn or political situation we're in. The 2010 Muhammad Ali Scholars Tour of the UK is building on a long, much cherished and valued relationship. Out of a 2003 UN conference, as you do, you connect and you engage with people of a similar spirit, passion and commitment. I mean, Stacey first engaged, there was a bit of a purpose about her and an edge about her that I can relate to. 3 years on, she said that she was now working in Louisville, and I said, how do you get from New York to Louisville? And hey, that's one thing, that your passion can take you anywhere. And she said she was working at the Muhammad Ali Institute. For me, within the post-war experience and the Muhammad Ali inspiration it provided for me, I thought that was an opportunity for some payback. Before we knew it, there were some scholars visiting the Northwest, and it was a memorable experience. Since then, we've had a close relationship, a much valued relationship, and looking at how the global issues facing young people can be dealt with their local communities where they have the leadership, rights and responsibility. For 2010, I felt we should be ambitious. We should raise the bar, as the political climate was equally as challenging as it was, I think, interesting. And as I commented to the Ali scholars when we had the video conference brief, they were coming in very special and extraordinary different times. A week on, we had a political alliance unheard of and unthought of. Prior to that, there were riots by voters that everybody thought were not engaged in the political process because they'd been denied their vote. That could have been a civil rights situation in the early 60s, which had helped shape my global thinking and emotion. But ultimately, the 2000 tour is about what we do locally, how it goes sub-regionally from north to south, and from here, whether it be Malbank, who we work with, to the British Council project that reflects our work in Merseyside and connects the legacy of the 2006 tour, but ultimately sees young people engaging locally, sub-regionally, and then the 2010 Ali Scholars. Unique Ali scholars living the Ali mission, values, and seeing what part they will play. It will be an interesting 3 to 4 days. The young people of the North will travel with the global citizens of the South, of the US of A, and they will meet a Southern audience, and they will come together and they'll talk about the cultural issues, and I will put it on the table, the Olympic and Paralympic issues that sees a legacy of youth, culture, diversity, legacy. That is the currency. They have to be that currency, they have to be the legacy. It will not be about buildings. So then I had to find people who would buy into this pretty mad idea, and I have a wife who endlessly tries to turn my mad ideas into some sort of balanced, reasoned consideration of effort. So I decided to come back where 17 years ago, when we relocated after only 48 hours of marriage, and I convinced that Manchester was the place to be. It was the best sales pitch I've ever managed by way of Manchester was not the place it is now. And Salford University, and Salford was not the place it was. And having only a reputation of sport allowed me to exist in Salford when it was not a place that would even reflect the diversity gallantry of the scene. Martin Hall was someone that I was told was different. I've been here on many occasions since, and whilst I hadn't finished my degree, I decided that my common sense and degree in common sense should suffice until such time I wished to re-engage. Martin I met, I'm sure he'd heard about me, but to give him his due as a global citizen, I think he went on what he saw, what he felt, what he heard, more importantly, how he would respond. And we found we had a lot in common. 17 years of my life have been spent in helping the New South Africa. This man has shaped the New South Africa. But more importantly, he could see what Salford University could do as part of his wish to lead what it would look like in widening the community. Billy Hughes will tell you, in the Moss Side experience, there was so much that required young hearts and minds realising what academic careers can do, how they can help you raise all the things you wish to do. Martin responded, and then the team, a new team responded, and Julia, I think, so she's not here today, she's doing the next bit of the preparation. There's been an incredible liaison, coupled with the other senior staff, Paul who's here, and others, and it just started to formulate. And what we have now is a very exciting opportunity. So without too much more, I think certainly a vote of thanks. Martin, thank you. It has been exceptionally possible by the exceptional, simple but collective efforts of all concerned. It would be amiss of me not to mention the LISO and Toxicute, but tomorrow that will be the quality of that engagement, and Malbank are represented in the Olympic Enrichment Day, saw them host the Chief Executive of LOCOG for the Olympics, and it was an inspirational day. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but all things were good. For Dr. Maudine Archer, the wise doyen, I call her, the lady who keeps all things in place. And for Stacey, it is family. It is an extended family. Dwayne, it is good to see people come back, and I hope, Anita, that you will see things that will be valued way beyond the years that are gathered here. But for myself, it is to welcome you, to hand over to my co-host for this part of the trip, and someone that I've come to respect and admire greatly, Martin Hulme.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff, and welcome to all of you. I've only met Jeff quite recently. It's impossible to say no to Jeff. But as he's mentioned, our lives have been intertwined for almost 20 years because Jeff played a key leadership role in many respects in South Africa's transition after the release of Nelson Mandela in 1990, the unbanning of the ANC, the first elections in 1994, the new constitution in 1996, and Jeff's been a great ambassador into South Africa through that time. And I spent much of my career in South Africa involved with all the challenges of trying to change South Africa's universities away from years of racial segregation towards trying to be situated in a normal society, contributing to the huge social challenges of that country. And it's been a privilege to follow that by coming here to lead the University of Salford. And I'd like to particularly thank Julia, Paul and the team, and particularly our magnificent student ambassadors who have done so much to make this and many other events